So welcome everybody. Welcome to our Brightspace Tech Orientation, and we will be covering everything Brightspace related so that you are ready to start your classes in Brightspace. To get started, when we talk about Brightspace, I want to introduce a couple of folks that are on the call. So if you can give a wave and say hello as I call out your name, we have Alex Wolniak, who is our registrar. Can you say hello, Alex?
Hi, everyone.
Okay. We also have Eric Robles, who is our D2L system admin. Can you give a hello there?
Hello, everybody.
Thanks, Eric. And then we also have Tamisha Scott on here, who is the person who takes care of our help desk.
Hello, everyone.
Okay, thank you, everyone. And we may be joined by a couple of instructors later on the call, but these are a couple of faces around that we are all here to help you with your Brightspace experience. Now, a lot of you may be asking the question, what in the world is Brightspace? Now, Brightspace, I like to call it a fancy Google Classroom. It is one way that you are going to be engaging with your courses. It'll be where you do all of your learning. You're going to do your readings there. And this is also where you're going to be submitting your assignments. That is the platform you're going to use. And it's to do your what we call asynchronous learning. Now, to kind of tell you what the difference is between the word asynchronous and synchronous, you may have heard this around in the orientations. You may have seen this in an email from one of your professors. When we talk about asynchronous classes, these are courses that you don't have to be on the computer at a specific time. This is a course that you can be online and do your homework at any hour, whether it is 5 p.m., 11 o'clock at night, 11 in the morning. You can do it at any time. You don't have to have specific meeting times on Zoom. That is what an asynchronous class. You do your homework, you do your work all on your own. When we talk about synchronous, we're talking about class meeting times. So this is maybe where you have a class that is on Zoom, or you meet on Google Meets, or maybe Microsoft Teams. This is a time when you get to meet you get to meet with the rest of your class all on a call. Think about live meeting. So if you have a synchronous course, you may have a course that is on, let's say, Thursday nights from 6 to 9 p.m. That is what we call a synchronous course. But when we talk about asynchronous is when we have your content that is available to do at any time of the day. And this is what we are going to be focusing on with Brightspace. This is where you'll have your videos available to you anytime, your textbook readings, your assignments, your discussion boards. They'll all be there, and it is flexible with your schedule, which is super nice. So we're going to be focusing on a lot of the asynchronous part of Brightspace. Now, when I also talk about Brightspace, the very first thing people need to figure out with Brightspace, and this is the hardest step of all with Brightspace, it's figuring out how to log in to Brightspace. Some of you may have already logged in, but you need two pieces of information to log in. One, you need to be able to find this web address, which is learn.urbancollege.edu. I'm going to put that into the chat in a second. And so everybody can have it in case they want to log in with me right here. So let me just put that into the chat, or if someone beats me to it, it is just, if you type into your search bar, learn.urbancollege.edu, this is how you can access Brightspace. You go to that website. That's the first thing you need. The second thing you need is you need your Urban College Outlook email credentials. And when I say you need your Urban College Outlook email credentials, it should be basically your first name dot last name at urbancollege.edu. Now, you have to know your Urban College Outlook email password to be able to get into Brightspace. It's a single sign-on, which means that you will log in to into Brightspace the same way you log into your Urban College Outlook email. And I'm going to turn it over to Tamisha Scott to talk about the Urban College Outlook email and what to do if I don't know my Urban College email password or my address. So I'll turn it over to Tamisha.
Hello, everyone. So I'm going to answer Kendall's question. If you don't know your Urban password, all you have to do is email HelpDesk, and I will be password or give you the information that you need. If while logging in, you can't get in or you're just overwhelmed that it's not working, that's okay. I can set up a Zoom call with you where I will sit with you and go through the whole process fully logged in. And it's important to log into the Urban College email before you try to go into Brightspace, because if you have a password reset, you need to reset it before you try to go into Brightspace. And that's by logging into the Urban College email. So don't panic. If you have any question, just email me at HelpDesk and I'll be happy to assist you with any login in question, or if you're just frustrated with the login process.
And Tamisha, what are your hours for the help desk?
Oh, sorry. So my hours are Monday to Friday from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. So if you message help desk after 6 p.m. from Monday to, I'll say, Thursday, I'll respond to you the next day. Don't panic. But if you message me on a Friday after 6, I will back. So if you message me anytime during the weekend, I'm not ignoring there, and I will respond to you as soon as I'm back.
Okay. Thank you very much, Tamisha. Now, the other question that we often get is, what if I don't, or what if I've registered late for my classes? What do I do if I have just registered for my classes, but I don't have access to my course? I'm going to turn it over to our registrar, Alex Wolniak, who can answer that question.
Hi, everyone. Depending on where you are in the registration process, it may take some time to get access to your course. So if you have received an enrollment confirmation from me to your personal email account, and your Urban College email account, if you've already been issued an account, then usually it's less than a business day or a business day before you're going to get access to Brightspace, because we run those updates very frequently. If you have not yet received an enrollment confirmation from us, that means that you may not have completed your registration yet and you won't have access. So you need to complete your registration before you'll receive access to Brightspace. As of now, anyone who has received an enrollment confirmation has Brightspace access and an Urban College email account, even if you were registered earlier today. So thank you to Tamisha for creating those accounts and getting folks situated, but you should be able to log into Brightspace once you've set up your permanent password through Outlook. So we'll continue to do that on a daily basis. And if there is going to be any kind of delay, we'll outline that in the enrollment confirmation.
Okay, thank you very much, Alex, for showing us that. Now, we just talked about what you need to be able to log in. And so when you log in, just as we said before, if you don't know your login information, you contact the help desk and they can help you get into your email and into Brightspace. First, when you log in, make sure your email you've accessed that, because you need to know your password and your email address. So it should be your first name dot last name at urbancollege.edu. And we put that link into the chat for Brightspace, which is learn.urbancollege.edu. Once you have accessed your Outlook email, make sure that you log in the exact same way with your Urban College Outlook email, not your personal email, not your Gmail, not your Yahoo, not your Hotmail or whatever. you're going to log in with your Urban College Outlook email. And it is so important that you access that email frequently, because that is the way you're going to be engaging with this platform here. So make sure you use your Urban College Outlook email. Once I log into my Brightspace, I'll show you kind of how I log in. So I type in my first name, my last name into here at urbancollege.edu. It's going to ask you for your password. Remember, this is the exact same password as your Urban College Outlook email. So make sure you have that password right. If you don't know your password, and I'm going to say this 5 billion times, remember to email the help desk, and they can help you get into your email and into Brightspace. Once I log in, it's probably going to give me this little message here. Don't worry about it, you can click either one. And once you get in, you know you're in, not little, giant banner across the screen that's going to say, welcome to Brightspace. If you've gotten here, yay, you're in the Brightspace, but you're not in your courses yet. So if I see that beautiful screen that says, welcome to Brightspace, I've gotten into the system, but I haven't gotten into my courses yet. To get to my courses, I've got to go over to the section that says my courses, and it will have any courses that you're taking right now. And it'll also have any courses that you have taken in the past. So you'll also see some courses that maybe if they start in October, like fast track courses, you'll see those listed there under my courses. The other way to get to your courses in here, and this is my little shortcut, there's a little symbol up at the top of your screen, of your Brightspace screen, that looks like what I call a 9-dot waffle. And the 9-dot waffle is another way you can get to your courses. So I find my course, I click on it, now what? Yay, I am in my course. Now, I want to decode some of the Brightspace because it looks like a lot of buttons, but don't worry. We're going to go through all the important features. And to start off, here's my main course page. I want you to remember 3 things about this course page. These are the 3 most important places you need for your learning experience. 1, you need to know where the announcements are. This is where you will find all of the communication from your professors. If they have any particular notes for the week, they might put it over there. If they have homework reminders in there saying the homework is due on Tuesday or Thursday or Friday, it's in the announcement section. They'll also put some helpful tips and maybe some videos for you there. So please, please, please check the announcements. Always check the announcements first thing you do when you get into your course. Number 2, pay attention to this nav bar. I like to think about the nav bar like a teleporter. It's a fast way to get around my course, and I can go to my units, I can get to my grades, I can get to anywhere in the course pretty quick by using my nav bar. So think of this like your map to get anywhere you need to in your course. And the third thing, and probably the most important thing, I think, is the units. And I will say this 50 billion times on this call. Units is where everything is. And when I say everything, this is where your course material is, your readings, your videos, your assignments, your discussion boards, your quizzes. It's all under units. So if you're looking for anything content or course content related, it's under units. Units, 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 units. So if you remember anything from today, I want you to remember that magical word units, because that is where you will find your course content. So make sure you remember that. Now, once I click on one of these, or once I am in my course, I want to kind of break it down again. How do I get started in my course? I've gotten into my course. I know what the main page looks like, but now what? Well, to get started, start with the announcements. Read the announcements because there's always very important information in there. Your professor has probably posted a welcome announcement with information about the semester and the syllabus and if there are class meeting times or not. The other thing you want to check in here is you want to go to the Getting Started unit, which is under, yes, under units. under units, you'll find the syllabus and all these other topics that are in the getting started units, the first unit of your course. And this will have information about, do I need a textbook? It'll have any college policies. It will have any kind of frequently asked questions. This is a great place to start. This is why we called it the getting started. So make sure you look at the getting started unit in your course, which is under units. And I'll keep on saying units, 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 because that is the most important thing. And then once you've gone through the announcements, you've gone through the getting started, the last thing you want to look at in this first week of getting started in your class, you want to look at unit 1. And unit 1 is going to be your first content unit. If you're taking an early childhood education class, that'll be your first unit that's actually about early childhood education. If you're taking a psychology class, it'll be an intro to psych unit. And so start going on to unit 1 and reading the material. These are the first 3 steps I always start when I get started in any brand new course. Now, another important thing I talked about at the very beginning on that front main page, and it's in any page in Brightspace, it's what's called the nav bar or the navigation bar. And this is what I called the little teleporter of my course. It is a way to get around my course. It's a map to get anywhere I need to. So to get anywhere in my course, I just click on any of these buttons on the nav bar and it will take me there. The course home button, that's going to take me to the main page of my course. The units, this is the most important button of all. And if you remember anything from today's webinar, it is units is where everything is. And I mean everything, everything, everything. I'm going to put a few stars here because it is so important. Remember that units is where you'll find your course content, your readings, and so forth. Make sure you know that. Next thing, if you're looking for your announcements, you're looking for an old announcement that was sent by your professor early on, you can find it by clicking on announcements on the nav bar. Grades, you need to figure out how am I doing in this class? You can find that there. You can find your professor's feedback. You can see what your overall grade is in the course. That's where you can check that. Course questions. If you have a question for your instructor, you can post it to the course questions discussion board. And this is what I want to emphasize. It's a public forum. And so if you have a personal question to ask your instructor, just between you and the instructor, send them an email. But if you have a question that maybe others in the class have, post it to the course questions discussion board. Maybe even another classmate will respond to your question, which can be really helpful. And then this button that says Brightspace help, this is tech support. Let's say you're having trouble uploading a file to Brightspace, or you don't know how to attach an Excel document to an assignment or something. That is when you can contact Brightspace help. And they have a bunch of frequently asked questions there. They have little guides on how to use Brightspace. They also have a little chat box where you can talk with a representative and they can help you with your problem in English, Spanish, and I think a couple other languages. They can live chat with you. They are available 24/7, and I've tried it out and it's pretty cool. So if you're having a technical question about Brightspace, you can contact Brightspace help. But if you have a question about your about the course, specifically the course that you're taking, contact your instructor. Now, there's a lot of buttons on the nav bar, but I'm going to distill it down to 3 main buttons because I always remember the rule of 3. My 3 buttons that I remember are the main page of the course, which is the course homepage, my units, most important button of all, and grades. These are the 3 most important buttons you're going to use all semester long. Course home, units, and grades. Now that I've gotten into my course, I know what this bar is across the top of my Brightspace page. I know what's on the course homepage. Now, how about if I need to contact my professor because I have questions? I don't know where to find this, or I don't know what this assignment means. If I have a question and I need to ask my professor something, you can always email your question to your professor. And you can find your professor's email in many places on Brightspace. You'll find it in the welcome announcements on the main course page. You'll find it also in the course syllabus in the getting started page. You'll also find it at the very bottom of your course homepage that where it will have. So if I go into my course and I scroll down to the very, very bottom of my course homepage, it'll have a picture of your instructor. It'll have their bio and it will have their contact information. So this is very useful if you need to get in touch with your professor and make an appointment to kind of discuss an assignment. You can find that information at the bottom of the instructor profile on Brightspace. If I also have a question, I can also post it to the course questions discussion board. And remember, this is a public space where your classmates can see the questions and you can answer each other's questions. Now, let's talk about the content, because the content is what we're all here for. We're all here to learn more about a specific subject, whether it is early childhood education or whether it is human services. Where will you find all of your course information? Units. Units is the magical place that has everything. It has the syllabus, the course policies, the college policies, the textbook readings, the videos, the assignments, the discussion boards, the quizzes. It has everything. And so when you're not quite sure where to go in your Brightspace course, start with the word units. That's the place you really want to go, because this is where everything is that you need. Now, what's in the units when I go into there? When I open up my units, it kind of looks a little bit like this. And first thing I want to notice, this is the name of my unit, Unit 1, a great place to start. Your units will be numbered from 1 to whatever in order. And then you'll see within that unit, it's numbered also there, like 1.0, 1.1, 1.2. You go through it in order, in number order. And these are the unit topics. So if the big topic is, let's say, basics of nutrition, then I will find a bunch of little topics that go under that topic of basics of nutrition. And so under the unit are a bunch of unit topics. And if you click on each of those topics, you'll find the course content. The other thing you'll see is on the left side of your screen is a table of contents. So let's say I'm in Unit 1 and I had a question about something in the getting started. I just need to look on the left side of my page and I can get back to anywhere in the course I need. The other thing that I think is important, and especially important for me as a student, a visual learner, is this progress bar. This progress bar allows me to see what have I completed and if I've completed the whole unit. I'm a perfectionist, 100%. I am a perfectionist. And I want to see more than anything, I want to see every unit 100%ed. So if you've gotten 100% of the topics in the unit completed, means you've done your job. You've done everything that you need to for that unit. So always kind of look at this progress bar and make sure that bar is full, because that means that you've done everything you need to. Now, if I click on any of these unit topics in my unit right here, if I click on, let's say 1.2 or 4.1 or something, I will open up my unit page, which will have the information that I've been talking about. So when I talk about the unit content, it'll have some text, it'll have a video, it will have some questions to ponder. It will have a bunch of different things in here for you to engage with. Think of it like an online textbook. And it's a textbook that has the readings and the videos and everything. That's how I want to think of my course. It's a textbook that I read all the information, I watch all the videos, and then I go to the next page. And to go from page to page, you'll see the little 2 arrows at the top of the page. You'll also see it at the very bottom of the page. And this is how you go to the next page. You read the whole page, go on to the next page. Read the whole page, go on to the next page. And you continue doing that for the whole unit until you get to the very, very, very end. The other thing, if you needed to get back to the table of contents really quick, you just click over here on table of contents or the name of the unit, and it'll take you back to the units really quick. That's a little shortcut there. Now, discussion boards. In your course, you will have many different kinds of assignments and assessments. And one of them that is very common is a discussion board. This is the place where you can kind of talk with your peers, your classmates, and share ideas. You can get to know one another, which is pretty nice. You can debate topics. This is the cool thing about discussions. And you can do this in an online setting by posting to this and sharing your ideas. If I want to post my idea, all I've got to do is click on this Start New Thread button. Once I click that, it'll open up and I can type in my response. I give my post a title. I can even, if I want to, put any attachments. So let's say I wanted to add a video of myself. I'm introducing myself. I can click Add Attachments and record a video of myself. Let's say I want to introduce myself by putting a picture that shows what I look like. I can do that by adding attachments. I can post anything I want right here. And then when I'm ready to share it with everybody else, I click Post and it's published. Now, the other thing that you will have a lot of in your courses are assignments. And this is kind of one of the most basic kinds of assignments you will have. It'll be, you read the instructions, maybe it tells you to read an article, and then what you have to do is you submit an assignment by clicking this upload button. And you're gonna upload a Word document or a PDF. You can upload Excel documents or PowerPoints. But the key is to add your document and create your document, you've got to do that first in a Microsoft Word document or in Google Docs. And then you've got to download that document and then upload it right here. The magic button right here is upload, because upload is going to allow you to put your assignment on Brightspace so your professor can grade it. Now, when you do this, the submission area is this thing that's a little box and it says drop files here. You can either click and drag your file here, or you can click that upload button. In some courses, it'll ask you to record a video. Sometimes they'll ask you to record a video or record audio, and you can click on that button right there. But most of the time, I would say about 8 times out of 10, you will be using that upload button right there. And I highly, highly recommend that you can try to use Microsoft Word through your email, which is pretty exciting. And I think there are tutorials of that on that you've done, Tamisha, correct? You've done some tutorials or information on walking you through how to use the Microsoft Office through your email. Is that correct, Tamisha?
Oh, I haven't really done, I'm actually working on a poster on how to use it.
Okay, excellent.
Yeah,
So that'll be coming to students soon then.
Yes, I should be done with it before the end of the week. I just did it in Spanish and Mandarin as well.
Okay, excellent. And so that will be coming out soon to you guys, and you'll be able to see exactly how you can use Microsoft Office through your email, which is pretty cool. The other thing you want to notice here on any assignment is you'll see this thing in blue and it has a box and everything. This is what where you will find grading rubrics, and grading rubrics are what will tell you what a professor is looking for when you do an assignment. It'll have the expectations, and it will also tell you what do you need to do to get an A on the assignment. So always review the assignment rubrics before you submit your assignment, because this is a great way to double check that you have met all the requirements. The other thing you'll see in your Brightspace courses are quizzes, and quizzes are pretty self-explanatory. For quizzes, the only thing you really need to pay attention to is read all of the directions on the quiz before you hit that start quiz or that submit button. Because when you read all the directions, you'll find some important information. Like, for instance, did you know some quizzes will allow you to take quizzes multiple times? So if you didn't get a good grade the first time, you can retake it. You always want to check the instructions to see how many attempts do you get at your quiz. You'll also want to check to see how much time you have to complete your quiz. Some quizzes are timed and some aren't. You might also want to see how many questions do I have and what kinds of questions. So you want to read all of this information that's on the first page of your quiz before you click that start quiz button, because sometimes it's really important to make sure you know exactly what you're doing before you start doing the questions. So always read the directions before you click that button to start. Now, the other important part of Brightspace is grades. And grades, this is where you will be able to see how you're doing in the course and to see what maybe you can do to improve. This will be where you can see your professor's comments, their feedback. You can see the graded rubric and to see how did you get the points that you did on that assignment. And you'll even see the ability to access the feedback that your professor has left you within the document. So annotated feedback. So you'll see all your grades listed there as throughout the semester. So check this frequently as a place to kind of see, this is how I'm doing, and making sure you're on track in the course. Now, the other thing that I like to tell people about Brightspace is you can access your course on a mobile device, which is kind of cool. But here's the thing. When you access your course on your phone, this is especially good if you want reminders about assignments and stuff. You want reminders about when something is due or when a deadline is coming up. You like to get a notification whenever your instructor posts or updates your grade. This is a great time to download what is called the Pulse app. So it's Pulse, Pulse. And you can find this on the Apple Store or the Google Play Store or something like that. You can find it, and it kind of looks like a little pulse symbol. So you can stay up to date with your course by going to the Pulse app. The Pulse app is very useful for notifications. It's not the best thing to do homework on, so I don't recommend doing your homework on the Pulse app. It's hard, it's tricky, and typing an 1,000-page or 1,000-word essay on your phone is a nightmare. Use your Pulse app to get notifications and reminders. You can also, if you want to, use your Pulse app to read some of the content and watch some of the videos. But I don't recommend doing the homework on there because it's not as user-friendly. If you need a laptop, and I'm going to actually turn it over to Tamisha in a second again, to say, if you are in need of a laptop or tech to be able to do your online course, the person to contact is the help desk. And so I'll give Tamisha a second to give her little spiel about that.
Okay, so laptops is very brief. So if you're in need of a laptop, they're given based on needs. You have for an upcoming semester, which is either this fall or maybe serve an upcoming semester, you're eligible. So once you email HelpDesk, I'll just call you to confirm your address and some other. Come and pick up a laptop, you can. Campus is open days from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. But I have to confirm with you first that you'll be receiving one before you come on campus to pick one up. Now we only have a few left, and I have to ship those out tomorrow. So I'll be ordering. The wait time might be, I'll say, until the other set.
Thank you very much, Tamisha. Okay, so the last few things I want to leave you with before we go to some questions. And so be thinking in your head about any questions you may have about Brightspace. Before we get to those questions, I want to give you my 3 big tips for success. Number 1, first thing to do, pay attention to those assignment dates in Brightspace. They'll always be listed in Brightspace, like underneath the title of that assignment. So you want to make sure you read these carefully. When is your assignment due? When does the assignment start? And when does it end? Now, the start date is pretty obvious. It's when the assignment is open to you. The due date, it's when you need to submit that assignment before you need to submit that assignment by without getting any late point penalty. The end date, and this is the tricky one, the end date is the last day you can submit an assignment even late. So for instance, if I have an assignment and it has an end date, that means I can't submit my assignment anytime after that end date. So make sure that if you are submitting an assignment late, get it in before that end date, or else you can't submit it at all. Pay attention to those dates. Always pay attention to the due dates, especially. And if you start to see these red overdue dates, that means you're late on assignments. So make sure you pay attention to the dates and the times. So very important. Number 2, always aim for that kind of 100% completion. I am a perfectionist, but I know not everybody is a perfectionist. But in this case, for an online course, it's really good to get 100% on a unit, to get all of the topics clicked on and read all the information and watch all the videos. That is where it is perfect to be a completionist. And you know that you've done everything right if you got that 100% right there. And also, if you look on the right side of your screen, you see these check marks. Check marks mean that you've done it. So look for those check marks, look at that progress bar. Last thing, always, always, always be curious, explore and ask questions. This is the thing that I recommend most, because you are going to get so much out of your online learning experience if you ask those questions. Be curious about something, click on that thing. This is a chance for you to take control over your learning, and always know that your professors and your instructors are there to help you. If you have a question, send them an email. If you aren't sure about something, send them an email. If you just want to talk with them over an office hour, send them an email. We're here to help, and that should be something important that you take from this. Also, little thing that I like to share as a little tip. Did you know that any text on Brightspace that's in blue is clickable? It means it's a hyperlink. So if you click on any text that's in blue, you'll find that you can access it'll take you to another link. So be curious, click on everything. You can't break this system. And so try clicking on everything, be curious. You never know where something will take you. So if you're scared, if you're kind of nervous about starting a new system, you're scared, I'm a little nervous about online classes, don't be. Try just being curious about it all, because you will find that you learn a lot by just exploring on your own. Now I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing and turn over to questions. So if you have any questions, please feel free to either raise your hand or come off mute, type into the chat. Any way that you like to engage, feel free. Any questions you have about Brightspace or in general about your online learning. I'll also use this as a second to pitch to everyone that if you are interested in attending the bilingual Brightspace tech orientation, it is right after this meeting on the same link. So that can be useful for some folks who would like to listen to the presentation in Spanish or in Mandarin. So any questions from anyone? Feel free to share your questions out in the chat or out loud. Someone asked, is the recording being sent out to us? Yes, I will be sending out that in an email, the recording of this, and I'll also send you the PowerPoint. So yes, you will have access to this. Good question. Other questions? Okay. Well, if any other questions come on, then I'll be sticking around until the next Brightspace orientation, which is just about 15 minutes from now. Before I leave you guys, I would like you to, I'm going to be launching a little poll in a second. And if you go ahead and answer that poll, please rate your understanding of Brightspace after attending this Brightspace tech orientation. This just helps me to see how well you understood the information. You can either click I understood things well. You can either say I will understand it better if I've watched the recording, or maybe you're still really confused on Brightspace. So if you just go ahead and throw that into the little poll question there, I would be most appreciative of your feedback. And of course, if you have any other questions, please feel free to stay on and stuff. Oh, someone said, can I explain the Pulse notification features? Yes. So the Pulse app is mainly used to give you notifications about your Brightspace course. So let's say you get notified for whenever your instructor updates or posts your grade. You can find you can use that in your Pulse app. It'll send you a notification there. It'll tell you also when an announcement is posted to your course. It will let you know if new content is available. And it will also let you know if a due date is coming up soon. So it is very useful for notifying you on things. I don't recommend the app for doing the homework. If you need to do your homework for Brightspace, I recommend doing it on an actual computer. And if you don't have access to a computer, the person to contact is the help desk, and they can work with you for that. But mainly for that mobile app, which can be downloaded on your phone, whether it's an Android or an iPhone or something else, you can find that app in the store on your phone, and it's a free app where you can get basically notifications about your course. It's very useful for that. Danielle, go ahead. I see Danielle's hand.
I just want to say thanks for the great presentation and information, Kendall. That was really helpful to learn all of that about Brightspace. And one of the things you mentioned was that if a student was interested in talking with an instructor, that they could email them. Can a student also meet live with their instructor as well?
Yes. So if a student wants to meet with their instructor live, all instructors hold what we call these online office hours. And an office hour is a time that students can meet one-on-one with their instructor over Zoom or Google Meets or even Microsoft Teams, and they can get some help. So if they don't understand what an assignment is, or they're not quite sure where to start on their essay, this is where they can meet with their professor and discuss and ask questions. So your instructor posts their office hours. They usually either post them in the announcements on your course. They'll also put that information in the instructor profile and in the course syllabus. It'll be all over your course. You'll find that information. And so pay attention to when your instructor has office hours. one thing I want to also point out about the office hours, these aren't required. And so this is not a class session. It's not a time when everybody has to meet. It's a time that if you have questions, you can come and ask specific questions and get help from your professor. Great question, Danielle. Thank you. Any other questions that come up before we go ahead and end? Davina said, basically asking for assistance in case you don't understand something in Brightspace. Yes, or even if you have questions, an office hour is very useful for, especially if you are unsure about why you got the grade that you did. And this is a great time to be able to talk with your professor and kind of see where they're coming from. So to get clarification on a grade or to see how can I improve for next time, this is a great way to get some help. Thank you, Davina, for throwing that into the chat. Any other things before we end? Okay, well, thank you all for attending. And if you want to attend the bilingual presentation, it'll be on in about 10 minutes, same link. So you can feel free to stay on. But thank you all for a great orientation, and I will see you guys. I'll be around. So take care, everyone. Have a great night.